Hi there, I'm Andrew, you're watching ThatGamerAjax, and welcome to the tabletop. Now, Free RPG Day may have already passed here in North America, however, there is a July 23rd worldwide event that's going to be going on, and I figured that let's go ahead and break down a little bit on what I got, my general thoughts, and kind of some things that you can look forward to if you're going to be taking part this year. Now, before we begin, I would really like to preface the fact that this is just kind of early impressions. I had to take some time to read through what I picked up. I didn't get a hold of everything that was available just because, some of these are first come, first served. There are also different rules depending on the game shop that you go to, so make sure that you respect those rules if you're going to be taking part this year, if you're part of my international audience. And if you're interested in taking part in Free RPG Day, I'll make sure that I have a link in the description so that way you can check and see if there are local game shops near you that are going to be taking part. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about some of the games that I got for the 2022 Free RPG Day. So I'm going to go ahead and put these next two together because they're both from Paizo, but unfortunately these are going to be kind of my overall least favorite, and I still love them, which is already saying a lot considering these are going to be my bottom picks. But we do have Starfinder's Skitter Warp, and we have Pathfinder's A Fistful of Flower Adventures. Now, let's go ahead and start with the pros of these. I really do like these. They are very well written. They are engaging. The art in them is fantastic. There's just one major downside in my opinion, and that is that if you don't understand Pathfinder or Starfinder's rule sets, it doesn't really explain what any of the things mean. Don't get me wrong, I have played a good number of role-playing games so far, and I'm still trying to branch out. And these are two games that I really do want to play, but I don't understand what the stat blocks mean. I don't understand what some of the symbols mean. And because of that, I think that these are going to be a little bit more meant for people that are already playing these games. I think that once I do learn how to play these would make for amazing little one-shots. The characters are well designed. There are pre-generated characters that are ready to go, and I think that they could be a lot of fun to play with. It's just that you kind of need to have a basis of how the games work in order to understand them a lot better. Next, I also managed to snag myself a copy, which is kind of like a little bit of a beta test of Homeworld Revelations by Modifius. This is one that I'm a little interested in. Apparently it's based on an old real-time strategy game, and personally, I love sci-fi as it is. I make a lot of Veil of the Void videos, which is my current favorite sci-fi role-playing game. But this one, I'm very interested to see how everything will work. Modifius is known for using a 2d20 system to determine passes or fails. You just need up to 5 successes based on a target number. I already have their Dishonored role-playing game, which if you haven't seen the first impression, I have a little link to that right up in this area if you haven't seen that already. But this is kind of taking that and expanding on it a little bit more, giving a little bit more sci-fi flavor. I will say that this is pretty chunky, actually. This little pamphlet is probably the better part of 70 pages, and I'm very interested to try this out. There's a pre-built adventure in there, and I just think that the rules seem pretty easy to run, actually, so I'm very excited to try this one out with my players. Next is Epic Encounters Bridge of the Duergar Cult by Steamforge Games. This one is pretty self-explanatory. It's basically a little pre-built Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure. I really like this already. It is very easy to run, and what the best part about it is that you can run it at different sets of levels. I think that it's the most interesting part because difficulty checks and damage levels for the enemies are going to adjust depending on what tier of play that you are playing on. So it's broken up into a tier 1, which is a level 1 to 4 party. Tier 2 is that mid-level with 5 to 10, and then there's 10 plus. So you could basically plug this into anything you want, really, if you are a dungeon master that is kind of a little stuck on content. If you want something that you can basically plug right into your campaign, this is probably a very good addition. Or if you just want to run a little one-shot, this is probably going to cover you. Next, we have the Root, the role-playing game Quick Start, which is by Magpie Games. This is a Powered by the Apocalypse rule set, so if you've played something like Monster of the Week, Thirsty Sword Lesbians, etc., you would probably be able to jump right into this. I have to say that I am actually quite impressed with this. It gives you a whole setting to explore, and really, if you wanted, you could just kind of take this and run with it. You could make a full campaign out of it. There is an overarching storyline, and there are a couple of individual quests if you want to give it to your players, where in this, you know, you're going to be kind of playing little vagabonds. Everybody plays as their own little criminal, and there are, I believe, 6 pre-built characters that use a variety of playbooks. If you've played a Powered by the Apocalypse game before, you know what I'm talking about, but this is basically just how your class works, and you just pick moves from that list. I have to say, I think that out of the things that I picked up, this one is probably one of the better examples of a quick start that I have looked at, especially just with how much content there actually is here. You could run a mini campaign with this if you wanted to. Now we're getting to the games that I am personally very excited about, and funny enough, one of them is only 1 page long. You have A Familiar Problem, which is from Darrington Press. This was created by Marisha Ray of Critical Role, and I have to say that I love this for its simplicity. This is a full game, 1 page, that's it, and it just seems really easy to play. All you need is a 1 10-sided dice, so if you are playing like Dungeons & Dragons, you probably already have those, and probably more than you need to spare for other players. But it's very, very quick and simple. There are only a couple of things that you really have to look out for. Making a character literally is like this. It takes probably all of about 10 seconds. You just pick a kind of familiar, and then you are solving your own little adventures while your adventurers are doing their own thing. I personally love this. I think that this is going to be one that if I'm not ready for a game to run for somebody, this would be one that I can throw together something in maybe about 10 minutes and just have a blast for a couple of hours. Does it have the depth of other tabletop role-playing games? No, of course not. It's only 1 page long. But I think that the simplicity of this just makes it absolutely incredible. I'm so glad that I managed to get this. And finally, we have my personal favorite grab that I got, which is Cyberpunk Easy Mode by R. Talsorian Games. I've only played Cyberpunk Red once. I absolutely love my time with it, and this is a great quick start. There are some pre-generated characters for you, but the Easy Mode does tell you how these characters are made. Kind of gives you a basic walkthrough of how to create your own character, which is, you know, building out your entire life path. And I just think that it's fantastic. Along with this, there's already a mission that is in there for you to play. And because of the way that the system works, you could take these characters and just really start running with them from there without even needing the full book. While it's going to be recommended because there's a lot of other upgrades and weapons that you can get for your character, I think that this is a really good way to get into Cyberpunk Red, and it does actually explain its mechanics relatively well, in my opinion. Very excited to run this with my main group of friends. But that is going to wrap up what I was able to secure during Free RPG Day. This took place on June 25th here in North America. As I said at the beginning of the video, this is going to be on July 23rd worldwide. So make sure that if you are interested in trying out some new tabletop role-playing games, this is going to be a very good way for you to go about doing it. So I would like to ask, did you take part in Free RPG Day this year? What was your favorite game that you picked up, if anything? And what's something that you would like to see in a future Free RPG Day? Are there any publishers that you know that have taken part in the past that you would like to see them return? Like, this was my first time taking part, and I had an absolute blast doing it. So if you could please comment below, let me know. And if you like the video, please give that a thumbs up. And if you want to stick around and see what else is on the channel, maybe consider subscribing. But hey, until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.